This video was made possible by News Voice, a democratized news app created to fight back against the filter bubbles and the corporate control of the media. Download this app for free at newsvoice.com/Jimmy or click the link under this video. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Steph Zamorano, Ron Placone. Ron Placone's got a CD release party coming up this Thursday at the Sycamore on Sunset Boulevard. Go to ronplacone.com for all the stuff. And he's got dates in January, February, March, April, all over next year. Go check out his car. So right now we're talking about the Democratic Party. I don't even know what to say anymore. You got progressives getting behind Nancy Pelosi without extracting anything for that, like for her being for Medicare for all, or for her ending the wars, or for her coming out for a living wage, or for her coming nothing. They got nothing. They got committee appointments, and I'm told that this is a huge deal. Do you know that Nancy Pelosi can kick them off those committees anytime she wants? So if anybody does anything on a committee that pisses her off, she could just tell them you're off. And by the way, there's no committee bill that gets to the floor of the Congress without Nancy Pelosi's. She could say no. So this is the definition of incrementalism. What's happening right now with the progressive takeover of the Democratic Party. Now, I'm for the progressive takeover of the Democratic Party. I've had Justice Democrats on my show, from Cori Bush to Ocasio-Cortez to Ro Khanna to we've had them. Everybody who's wanted to come on, we've had them on. And so we support the progressives no matter where they are. We also recognize that this may be a fool's errand to try to take over the Democratic Party because here we are. Two corporate Democrats were successfully primaried in 26 or this last election cycle. Two. That's it. Climate change is going to kill us in about 5 minutes. 30 million Americans don't have health care. 80% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. 50% of people in America are poor or low income. They don't have time to wait 10 more years. You understand? That's why we got Trump, because people are desperate right now. And you know who isn't desperate? Nancy Pelosi, who's a 100 millionaire. Chuck Schumer, who's also, that's who doesn't care. That's who thinks we should wait a little longer. So now they're all backing Nancy Pelosi for speaker. That's done. Try to run against Trump with Nancy Pelosi as the face of your party. To lose. She's less popular than Trump. And so now what's left is the fifth spot in the Democratic leadership, which is the Caucus Chair. So when Ocasio-Cortez primaried Joe Crowley was the Caucus Chair. So now Barbara Lee wanted to be Caucus Chair. She's super progressive, and she was against the Afghan war even. She's got her head right. She knows exactly what she's doing on foreign policy. She has integrity and courage and clarity. So why you think they would go, okay, we're going to give the progressives the Caucus Chair just to shut them up? They didn't even do that. They ran this guy. Hakeem Jeffries wins contested House Democratic caucus race. Now remember, it was Joe Crowley who used to have this position. Ocasio-Cortez, the voters said, we want him out. And we want progressives in power. Well, they ran Hakeem Jeffries against Barbara Lee. And you want to know who this guy Hakeem Jeffries is? Here he is talking about Bernie Sanders in 2016.
Secretary Clinton has been right on the issues as it relates to a whole host of concerns, particularly dealing with the gun violence epidemic that continues to sweep many of the communities that I represent and many communities of color all over the country. And we know that Senator Bernie Sanders has effectively functioned as a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Rifle Association for the entirety of his career, both as mayor, a member of the House and the Senate, voting 5 times against background checks, voting twice to shield gun manufacturers from liability, voting essentially to allow... I understand that...
So that's the guy. He's a member of the Progressive Caucus, smearing Bernie Sanders as a solely owned subsidiary of the NRA. That's such a stupid thing to say. Even Chuck Todd pushes back. Watch this.
Gets those votes. Can you really refer to him as a wholly owned subsidiary of the NRA? Do you really believe the NRA thinks that Bernie Sanders is just one of their guys?
Even Chuck Todd wouldn't buy it. That's him. This is, by the way, this is the guy. This is the Democrat of color running against Barbara Lee. I guess that's not sexist. I guess he's not a Hakeem bro. He's not a Hakeem bro. No, because if you ran against Hillary Clinton, you're a Bernie bro. But he's running against Barbara Lee. But he's not. That nobody ever said that about. It's okay for him to do it. Do you want to know who else this guy is? This guy, Jeffries, to keynote pro-charter schools rally in Prospect Park. He's Betsy DeVos. That's who this guy is. You don't like Betsy DeVos? Well, you shouldn't like him. Do you understand why half the country isn't voting? This is the Democratic leadership now. Nancy Pelosi, Denny Stoyer, and this frickin' guy. This guy. He's the keynote speaker, pro-charter school rally in Prospect Park. Do you understand why half the people don't vote now? Do you understand why people don't see a difference between Democrats and Republicans? Do you understand at a time when 9 out of 10 Democrats want Medicare for all, this guy is not going to give it to you? He's going to stand in your way. He's not your friend. He's not fighting for you, Democrat. He's fighting against you. He's fighting for the same people who own the Republicans. He's a member of the Progressive Caucus. This guy is a member of the Progressive Caucus. The majority of Americans think we need a third party. The majority of Democrats think we need a third party. What we need is a charismatic leader like Bernie to lead it. Someone like that. And then it will happen. It won't happen without. And that argument that people make about ballot access isn't true. The Greens have ballot access in 46 states. You only need about 23 states to win the presidency. You want to see some more about this guy? So here he is on MSNBC. This is the leadership of the Democratic Party. The leadership. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and this guy. And now the progressives have to get behind them. Watch this guy. Watch what he's for.
Would you be pushing for things like single payer? More of the progressive agenda?
Well, I'm a pragmatic progressive. I think that we all want to move toward universality of health care coverage.
Universality. Not even universal coverage. Universality. I'm now inventing words.
But we have to start by strengthening the Affordable Care Act.
No, we have to start by passing Medicare for all, which is what 9 out of 10 Democrats want. The majority of Republicans want. So what this guy is telling you is I am just as corrupt as anybody on the right. That's what he's telling you. The leadership of the Democratic Party is completely corrupt. Nancy Pelosi is corrupt, which is why she's not giving you Medicare for all. He is corrupt, which is why he's not for Medicare for all. He's for strengthening the right-wing health care plan, which is a giveaway to the health insurance companies, which are his donors. He's your enemy. The Democrats are your fucking enemy. You want to know who else this guy is? This is the stuff he used to say about Bernie. He said Sanders not a true friend to blacks. That's what he said. That's what he said. This is the guy. You know what else he said? Representative Hakeem Jeffries, the Brooklyn congressman and Clinton supporter, released a statement on Thursday calling Mr. Sanders a gun-loving socialist with zero foreign policy experience. That's the new leader. Jeffries beats Representative Barbara Lee by 10 votes, with Debbie Wasserman Schultz speaking on behalf of Jeffries. The Democrats don't care that Trump is president. The Democrats don't care that Trump is president. This proves that they like that Trump is president, and they want to keep him. It's great to fundraise against. It's great to have a distraction. So now nobody's talking about how bad the Democrats are anymore, and why aren't they legislating in favor of the people who voted for them? No one's talking about that. They can distract you with Trump. These motherfuckers don't care. That Hakeem is corrupt as they come. So is Nancy Pelosi. They're as corrupt as they come. They're the reason we got Trump. And it's amazing. They got rid of Joe Crowley. They replaced him with that guy. That guy who's a keynote speaker at charter school organizations dinners. That guy who calls Bernie Sanders. That guy who has Debbie Wasserman Schultz on his side. The criminal of criminals.
He's also a pragmatic progressive.
Pragmatic.
Yes. And when he works out, he is a walking sprinter.
Pragmatic progressive means I'm not for progressive stuff. That's what that means. So Zach Carter tweeted out, Jeffries is a big money Democrat and a member in good standing of Andrew Cuomo's New York machine. There is no way to spin his victory over Barbara Lee as a sign the party is moving in a progressive direction. Here's what the outgoing guy, Crowley, the guy Ocasio-Cortez primary got rid of, the corporatist, who's the outgoing chairman of the caucus. Here's what he had to say about it. I'll read it to you if you can't read it because it's too small. I am incredibly proud that a fellow New Yorker and my friend will help lead the Democratic caucus. New York and the country are in good hands with Hakeem. The guy who's not for Medicare for all, which the whole country's for. That's how corrupt he is. That's corruption. He's a corrupted, lying corrupted. This is why half the country doesn't vote. This is why people don't see a difference between the Democrats and Republicans, because this guy's fighting against you. He doesn't want you to have a living wage. He doesn't want to end the wars. He doesn't want you to have the same health care he has in the richest country in the world. He's in the Progressive Caucus, by the way. David Dayan says, are you saying that for caucus chair, Democrats traded a member of the New York big money machine for a member of the New York big money machine? Yes. There's another way to describe it. David Sirota says, Ocasio 2018 voters threw big money Democrat Joe Crowley out of office in a loud demand for progressive change. And then rather than listening to that electoral message, House Democrats just replaced Joe Crowley with a Crowley-like politician.
Another way to describe it, the way the Who called it, meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Blue wave, baby! We won! Again, this is incrementalism. That isn't even incrementing.
You know, in 2014, what Hakeem said regarding Israel, when you live in a tough neighborhood, Israel should not be made to apologize for its strengths, Jeffries declared. You know why? Because the only thing that neighbors respect in a tough neighborhood is strength.
What Hakeem Jeffries is what we used to call a Republican until Bill Clinton came along. That's what Hakeem Jeffries is. A corrupted, bought, and paid for Republican. That's what Hakeem Jeffries is. That's what Nancy Pelosi is. That's what Chuck Schumer is. That's why we need a third party. And if we don't get it, get ready for more shit show. Get ready for a violent revolution. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable, said John F. Kennedy. We don't have time for this. This is ridiculous. This is the new leader. So I don't want to be a naysayer, and I don't want to dampen anyone's enthusiasm in our revolution or brand new Congress or Justice Democrats. I'm for all those people. I've said before, I've supported them, had them on my show whenever they ask. But we don't have time for incrementalism, and that's what this is. That's what the progressives are now pushing. We're going to support Nancy Pelosi for a fucking committee assignment? How do you spell failure? Do you see the new leader? This is the new caucus chair. 1.3% of his money in the last election came from small dollar contributions. Almost none of it. All his money. He's so bought and corrupted. Isn't that something?
Yeah, and just there's nothing pragmatic, to just go back to his self-appointed term for himself. There's nothing pragmatic about an incremental solution for a catastrophic problem.
Wait, so well put. Say it again, Ron.
There's nothing pragmatic about an incremental solution to a catastrophic problem.
Whew. I don't even know what to do. Because a third party needs a charismatic leader that can draw other people from the regular parties into the new party. And then if Bernie did that and he brought Tulsi with and all those people, Ro Khanna and Ocasio, imagine how popular that party would be immediately. Well, he's the most popular politician in the country. Imagine how much energy and enthusiasm and all the people who don't vote, how they would now start voting. It's the only thing that's going to fix this, because we've been trying it this way forever, and it's not working. Things are getting way worse. In case you haven't noticed, 80% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. Things are really bad right now. You want 4 more years of Trump? This is how you get it. Incrementalism gets you 4 more years of Trump. These are called Faustian bargains. I'll support Nancy Pelosi if she gives me a committee assignment. Nothing's changed. Nothing. And just as predicted, the money people are not letting go of half of the politicians in the country. The money people are not letting go. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is February 1st in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a list of all our live shows, and please become a premium member if you can. Become a patron. It's the way we support this show, because they're coming at us, and we give you bonus. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Check it out. Become a patron. And if you can, make sure you're still subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I know it sounds crazy. It only takes a second. Please make sure and click that bell when you subscribe so they'll send you a notice when we drop a video. Thanks for your support.